Hello, and welcome back to my channel. So you remember how in my Mech X4 video, when I said I was going to talk about another show, this is that video right here. Welcome back, my subjects. Today I'll be talking one of Disney's most somewhat famous, sitcoms, Lab Rats. Now, I'll obviously go through the premise, characters, a little bit of spoilers here and there. Or a lot, if I can remember anything. So, let's begin. The show starts season 1, obviously. The show starts with season 1, episode 1. Now, we get introduced to 3 characters immediately. We get introduced to Leo, the son of, what was her name? Tasha. I think it was Tasha. Yeah, Tasha. And then we have Davenport and a 4th character, I guess, by the name of Eddie. Leo is one of the main characters. Tasha is his mom. Davenport is his stepdad. Basically, Tasha met Davenport. Davenport met Tasha. And, you know, that happened. Eddie is this AI that basically controls the house somewhat. And I know a lot of people like to talk about how certain characters are an exception for the hatred of AI. Well, like, the hating of AI, right? Eddie is one of those exceptions. I don't care who you are. He's one of those exceptions. If you know Eddie, you know why he's one of these exceptions. One of my favorite characters. Anywho, not the point. Leo stumbles into the basement, and then we meet the 3 other main characters of this show. We have Adam, Bree, and Chase. Now, can I remember? So these 3 are different because they are superhumans. They have superpowers, basically. Adams is obviously strength. He's known for being the strong one. Chase is the smart one. Yeah, he's the smart. His whole entire thing is being really smart, from what I remember from his powers. He has other powers as well, but all of them do have other powers. Bree has super speed, and the only girl of the group. Seasons go on. The show ends. This is where we left. This is where we go into spoiler territory. So, if you haven't watched the show, go watch it and then come back. Davenport has a brother. That brother is evil. That brother then gets betrayed. He becomes good. Him and Davenport try to get along, and they get along somewhat. Leo doesn't trust him at first, but eventually, you know, back and forth. Eventually, Leo gets bionics. Now, what bionics are is what provides Chase, Bree, and Adam with their powers. Leo gets his own. To be fair, though, not like he had a choice in the matter, you know? Leo was in a near-death statically. Basically, he almost died. And the only way to somewhat save him was to put bionics in his body. Anyway, not the point. So, by the end of the season, everyone has their own different kinds of powers. Give me a moment. I gotta drink water. So, The powers they get added are... Now, to be fair, I don't remember a lot of it, so bear with me. Bree gets not only super speed, but the power to mimic any voice that she wants, and that's all she gets from what I remember. Adam, I don't think gets anything. From what I remember, I don't remember what he got. He got others. I know he got other stuff, but I can't remember what that other stuff was. And then we have Chase, which had the most stuff. First of all, he got a shield. And I think a lightsaber was a lightsaber type weapon, from what I remember. Finally, but not least, the most useful superpower that I think he loses at some point, or it's an on and off thing, where it's like, how do I say this? You can shut off a person's bionics, basically, or interfere with it, from what I remember. That's not the point. Then, we get into the new show. A collaboration between Lab Rats and Mighty Med. I think it's Mighty Med. I don't remember the name of the show. I never watched it, so. 3 characters. They leave Leo, which can of worms I'll get into later. All that stuff happens. Show gets canceled, obviously. It doesn't go as well from what I remember. Ends off on a cliffhanger. That's it.
Get out of the room!
So, to start, the show, give me a moment, my problem with Lab Rats. So, I love Lab Rats, I do. I just think it went on a little longer than it should have and ended a lot more sooner. Like, I love Lab Rats with all my heart. But once it got to, there's multiple people with bionics. All these kids go to a school, taught how to use them. They become evil. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, blah, blah. You know? Like, it ended on a cliffhanger, for Pete's sake, in Lab Rats and Mighty Med collaboration. I think it just went on for too long. You gotta know how to when to end a show, especially when it gets stale. And they should have ended the show with a bang. Also, I feel like doing Lab Rats without the Leo, of all people, one of, if not the best main character of the show, and being like, yeah, and not using that character for the show, while also being like, you know what, let's bring in the principal from Lab Rats for no reason whatsoever other than just to why not. Like, one of my favorite characters, yes. However, why? There was no reason. There was no purpose. I felt more like they were using the character to, like, I don't know, drive up numbers to make sure it wasn't canceled. But why not include Leo? Is it to stay even? Because we had 3 from Lab Rats, 3 characters from Lab Rats, 3 characters from Mighty Med. Also, it didn't get plot heavy until like later on. So why? Why? You know, why? Just why? I think it just should have ended a lot more sooner. But that's not my main problem with it. I think just Disney tried to milk it a little too much, you know? But again, that's not my problem with it. More Lab Rat content will always be better, even if a bit stale. My question is, why get rid of one of the main leads? Two, not have Davenport in it at all, from what I remember from the show. I think he was there a couple times here and there. I think I saw his brother there more than I saw Davenport himself. We only saw Tasha maybe once, probably, and as well as Leo, but never necessarily him helping out. Which, by the way, he has bionics, so why is he not helping out? Like, to be fair though, I'll give you this. I also had the same problem with Mech X4, where I think it dragged on for a little too long. Some of the seasons were a bit stale here and there. But the fact that you have to end, that a show has to either be canceled, especially when it comes to sitcoms, either has to be canceled or milked, and there's no in between. There can't be a season finale, you know? And you may be asking, well, isn't this a bit hypocritical since, you know, you're gonna have a series, a lifelong series that will never end? To which I say, yes. But, first of all, I'll try my best to keep it interesting. Second of all, being a hypocrite is in my blood. No, I'm joking. Which, I'll get to that a little bit. At the end of this video. I don't want this video to fully be about my show, because it's about lab rats. You know, I can't get sidetracked right now. So, and then, of course, we have other stuff as well. Like, for example, people who watch Lab Rats probably didn't watch Mighty Med, and people who watched Mighty Med probably didn't watch Lab Rats. You know, you have two different audiences who know nothing about each other's show, and they try their best to at least give us somewhat of a like understanding of who these people are. But you can't like drop something like, oh, so we got powers after we were saved by our mom, who was a villain, who turned good in the end. From what I remember seeing in Lab Rats, that's something I watched. But then again, I could be wrong. I never watched Mighty Med, so you know. Other than that, though, of course, that's it about me talking about Lab Rats. Unlike Mech X4, I don't have much to talk about in Lab Rats. I love the show. I like it. A lot of funny stuff, but Lab Rats isn't as much of a fever dream as Mech X4 is. And that's a good thing, kind of. But yeah, honestly, good sitcom. Now, of course, I will answer the question of the rest of this is just going to be talking about my show. So, to give a little insight on what I want to do with the show, is the idea of basically a show that runs endlessly but keeps things interesting and keeps the characters' personalities as same as they are. Like, for an example, I want character arcs. I obviously want to do character arcs with my characters and stuff like that, to change them in personality a little bit, but keep them overall somewhat the same. Because again, I have an idea, right, where a forever going on show that keeps the characters' personalities and traits the same, but they change somewhat over time in terms of personality. For example, John learns to be serious more often. Mr. K learns to show more and more emotion and actually be happy every once in a while, and be excited, be hyper, Horror being less and less tired and more just ready for a fight. Foxy being less arrogant and less to walk into a fight. Twisted being less of a closed door and being more of like ready to like share and being, more open. Cartoon Cat being more of like not hating everyone. Also, the show will go for reboots because there's a lot of things I want to change with the characters themselves, while making other stuff from the previous show canon, which will be interesting to do. Also, the show will technically end by some point, by the time I die. By my death. The show ends when I die. Can be at any time. Hopefully not anytime soon. What? But yeah. That's it, honestly. While I may be a bit hypocritical. A little bit. If it does get stale, I'll just... Look at the flowers, George. Look at the flowers. So yeah, other than that, have a wonderful evening, afternoon, morning, and or night. I'll see you whenever I'm done hibernating. Goodbye, my subjects. Why is my hair not messy? Peace.